Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Investing Bros live show. This is going to be an interesting one for a multitude of reasons, but crypto's dropping right now, and there's some big news in the crypto space when it comes to influencers. Maybe some of you have heard, maybe some of you haven't heard, but Cryptos Are Us, or George, we are all George. His channel was taken down today, and at this point, we're going to keep you updated if it comes back up, but at this point, it has not come back up, which is very, very frustrating. Now, I've already seen in comments here and other places, more than likely, this is not because he's a crypto channel. However, while we do potentially have a suspicion about what brought it down, I do think the fact that he's a crypto channel is giving YouTube an excuse to drag their feet. I do believe his channel will come back. I think it will happen, but be alert. Google, YouTube, the ecosystem is still not friendly to crypto. They do not like crypto. They will do everything they can to censor it when they can. In fact, we have another story coming out of Washington with a dear old relative of mine, who's not really a relative. I like to joke she is. She's on another war campaign. Some of you know who I'm talking about. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Another reason this show is going to be special is because I am at home today. You guys might have noticed my background's a little different. Shroom, you maybe can scoot out a little bit on me because I'm a little zoomed in here. I am on dad duty. I'm on dad duty because Brody, it needs someone to take care of him. He's only 5 months old. He's not yet able to feed himself or clothe himself or do anything really by himself. Taylor is working on some stuff. She is busy throughout the next 3 days, so I'm going to be on dad duty. Brody's going to be joining me. Now, you guys might not be able to see it. That's pretty bright. I don't think it focused. I think he is just now waking up from his nap, so I'm going to wait for him to give me a little fuss to go get him. But Brody will be joining the show today, which will make TA very, very fun. Discussion will be great. I'm sure T-Shroom will have some great points. I'm sure Brody will have some good points, and I'll just be here for kicks and giggles. Speaking of T-Shroom, though, I am joined by him today. T-Shroom from down there in Gainesville, Florida, probably going to be doing a lot of the running of the show today. T-Shroom, how you feeling?
Oh, man, Tim, I got to be honest with you. I am feeling better than I deserve. So that's how I'm feeling, and you know, it's not too crazy weather down here, but it has been getting a little bit more chilly, and it might be something that folks in the northern country, right, wherever that may be, just depending on your distance from the equator, it may not be that cold, but it has been a little chilly for me, and I do have.
I love it.
A question. We have a factoid of the day, and we also have a quote of the day. Let's go to the quote of the day. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. That is Plato yet again coming in strong. I think we might be able to finish out the year with just the Stoic quotes. What do you think, Tim?
I mean, effectively, is Plato almost saying here there's no reason to be angry?
Things person should never be angry at. Yeah,
because he's saying if you can help it, don't be angry, fix it. And if you can't help it, don't be angry. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just wasting your time. And I do think there's such a thing as righteous anger. So I think from a realistic standpoint, maybe I disagree with the quote, but from a philosophical standpoint, I think Plato is dead on. You waste a lot of time, and we've said this before on the channel. One of my favorite quotes about forgiveness is when you don't forgive somebody, it's like pouring poison into a cup and then you drink it and you're expecting them to die. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. You know, if you drink the poison, you're going to die. Well, you don't forgive people to release them. You forgive people to release yourself. Because again, being angry and holding grudges, it only hurts you, not the other person. So great quote here. And again, Brody's giving me some time. Talking about someone who's not getting angry over things he can't control. He's just sitting over here. He's just chilling. I can see his glowing little eyeballs. He's not asking to be picked up yet. So
here, put it closer to the camera, Tim.
I don't think they're going to be able to see it. The glare is pretty crazy.
Hold it still.
Oh, there you go.
We can see.
You can see the glowing eyeballs. Yeah, he's creepy. Just chilling. Oh yeah, he looks like an alien.
Just almost in time for Halloween there, that picture.
Yeah, for sure.
But obviously it's cute. It's just the technology makes it look creepy. It's not.
Yeah, it's true. Well, let's do this. Because my ability to do TA is going to be very limited. Guys, different show today, but the shows are always fun in the afternoons. You guys are here for the education, the crypto, the news, the charts. and a little bit of chaos. You're never going to get an Investing Bros show without the chaos. Otherwise, we wouldn't be the Investing Bros. If you want organization, those morning news updates, let me know in chat what you guys have been thinking of the morning news updates. I think they're going amazing. We had a great one today. It's one of our top performers. It's quick, it gets you in, gets you out, start your morning off right. But these shows, this is about the more in-depth TA, the more in-depth conversation, the chaos, the Brodies. Maybe from time to time, I saw in chat, Eric Wallen's asking about Beamer. Maybe Beamer will make an appearance this week. Probably not Brody and Beamer at the same time. Maybe if I catch Brody in the deep slumber of a nap, maybe Beamer makes an appearance. They do hang out together. I just don't want in this room and to have a baby and a dog, and that'll be chaotic. Let's do some TA real quick. We're going to get into George stuff here in just a little bit. We're going to get into some news from, again, a not blood-related relative that I have that I still sometimes call my relative. Let's talk about Bitcoin, guys. I kind of called it perfectly this morning. Let's go to my chart here, T-Shroom. Those of you who watched the news update, you guys know that I talked heavily about this line, and I don't think when we shot, well, yeah, it would have happened just a little bit before. Yeah, so we talked about the bearish nature of what price action would look like today after losing this uptrending support level. You know what it was, T-Shroom? When we made the morning video, we'd already seen this. I shot another video this morning at 4 something a.m. that this had not happened, that I called this, and then it happened later. I make videos for, I can't tell you guys about those videos. Those are secret videos. Maybe some of you might know about them.
You make them for the Navy SEALs?
Even more so. I make them for the elite level, like only the leaders of the Navy SEALs get these videos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's just how exclusive that club is. All right, so anyway, we are breaking down to the downside. Now, this isn't a very big bull trend. It only started yesterday, but it is kind of a rounding off type of period. So we went from setting higher lows, higher highs from back here yesterday at 1 a.m. on the 17th. That peaked up here at midnight today, earlier today, peaked at midnight, and now we're setting lower lows, lower highs. We just kind of confirmed this 2 hours ago when we set this high right here. Now, from a more not macro, but bigger time frame, because again, we're just talking about from yesterday, because we're on the hourly chart here. You gotta, we're looking at really small timelines right here. We did double bottom on this little bottom right here. So it's going to be interesting to see as we're kind of moving sideways, rounding off. Do we officially close out this right shoulder and make a move to the downside? I do want to see to get a confirmation. And to me, I think if I see price action get below 28,000, I'm going to, in my brain, operate like it's confirmed. But from a chart perspective, I want to teach you guys the right way to view this. You do want to see a lower low than 26,500 to confirm that we're moving to the downside, and then that would give us that right shoulder, which still there's a probability. Just because we close a right shoulder, let's kind of look at this real quick. Just because you close a right shoulder, let's say price comes back down and goes to 25,000. That would officially give us that left shoulder, the head, and a right shoulder. That still doesn't mean 100% you have to play out the pattern and drop all the way down here to 19,300. Doesn't even mean you have to break below 25,000, 24,800, whatever it is. It probably will. It statistically should, but nothing's 100%. You can't say any guarantee. But in this case, again, the odds and the probabilities of dropping below 25,000 are stacking up left and right. And so I'm continuing my bearish approach short term, meaning the next 6 to 8 weeks before I do believe we get bullish. They're late November, early to mid December. That's why I'm giving it a 6 to 8 week range. Nothing's really perfect like that. But we do see Bitcoin kind of keeling off that way. We also see the Bitcoin dominance. We've peaked up here above 52% here more recently, but we're kind of hovering right below it. That is because even though Bitcoin is dropping, we're seeing the others drop as well. Although Ethereum picking up a little bit. It's up 0.09% since today opened. It's sitting, technically in the green for now. This is another chart, though. When you're looking at Ethereum, not looking good. I can tell you guys right now, there's a video coming out on Sunday, though, over on the Hit Network, on Discover Crypto. I actually have a couple videos. I have a video coming out tonight on Discover Crypto at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look out for that. We're talking about Fed pivots over there.
Nice.
And then there's one coming out on Sunday where I actually talk about Ethereum over Bitcoin. and Ben Cowan. Now, Ben Cowan is genius. Who am I to do what I'm going to do in this video? You guys are going to have to watch it to believe it. Shout out to Mike Vollmer, by the way. Good to see you over here. Hashtag free George. Yep, we're talking about that here in just a little bit. I'm still surprised. Brody's awake as ever, but he's just chilling like a... Nope, I say that on cue and he starts crying. So give me 1 second. I'm going to get there. Ethereum over Bitcoin. Ben Cowan. Ben Cowan believes. I'm gonna kind of keep this brief and not do the TA here because we have other things to do in the show. Ben Cowan believes that the ETH over Bitcoin chart could drop all the way to 0.035. Guys, I'm gonna be quick with this because I gotta go get my babe. My baby. I guess babe would signal my my wife.
I thought you said you were gonna be quick with this.
I'm not. I'm trying. You know me. T-Shroom. We're talking about levels where even right now, we would be dropping about 38% on the ETH over Bitcoin chart. Briefly, guys, guess that means if Bitcoin stayed right where it was right now, if we didn't drop at all from 28,267, that would mean that the price of Ethereum would drop all the way. Let's get this again because I think it's not gonna, come on now. There we go. That would mean we would have a 38% drop and Ethereum would drop all the way with no Bitcoin drop whatsoever, all the way down to $960. Now let's kind of factor this a little bit more though. Let's go back over to Bitcoin. Let's just say Bitcoin were to drop, I've kind of put this, let's just say it even only goes down to 25,000. I think some people think that that's going to back it up. We're looking at 12% right there. Well, now we got to add 12 more percent to this one. So 38, that's going to be 50. That's easy math right there. 50% drop on Ethereum. We're looking at a $776. I'm not going to even do any more. Guys, as Bitcoin continues to drop, it just gets worse and worse and worse for Ethereum. Brody's hanging tight. I see you laughing, T-Shroom. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him, guys. I promise. He's going to be on the show. My point is, the video that I talk about, Ben Cowan is a brilliant man with brilliant analysis, and he breaks down so many beautiful things in recent videos he's made about Ethereum capitulation. But I do talk about how I think he's going to be wrong. I think worst case scenario, ETH over Bitcoin drops to the 0.049 level, not all the way down to 0.035. But to understand why I think that, you do have to wait till Sunday morning to watch that over on the Discover Crypto channel. With that said, T-Shroom, take over for me. Talk about some good things. I've talked about some bearishness. I've talked about price going down. Tell people something positive, and I will come back with the best bro of all the bros, Brody.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. One of the best things is making sure that you're compliant with the IRS. If you live in the United States of America, you have a great opportunity to invest in crypto, right? But you got to make sure you're staying compliant. You can do that with decrypt.tax. You go to decrypt.tax. You tell Ernest that the Investing Bros sent you. You get 25% off tax services. And Ernest knows everything there is to know about crypto tax. He's actually a tax attorney as well. Don't worry, you don't have to pay a bunch of extra fees for the tax attorney status. But you get someone who really knows what they're talking about. He's not just a CPA. He's also a tax attorney, right? So he's represented people once they've gotten into sticky situations, and he can help you make sure that you would never get into those situations, right? But you might be thinking, but I've got a business, right? I've got a W-2, or I've got a big real estate portfolio. He can help you out with all of that kind of stuff. No matter how complicated your taxes are, he can help you. If you want to invest in crypto in 2024, or you have in 2023, or you've traded, he can get you where you need to be. That's decrypted.tax. Brody is here on stream. What is going on, little Brody? Look at him.
Give me a second. He's too short, and I got to get my ears back in so I can hear you. But Brody is here. He is present. Say hello, Brody. He doesn't want to get canceled. He doesn't want to get Georged, so he's watching his words carefully.
Smart.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that smile.
Oh yeah.
Does he see me?
Oh yeah, he loves screens, loves TV. So he's probably gonna sit here pretty happy for a little bit. And I'm pretty far away from the mic, I do believe. Let's see. I gotta switch. Let's go to this on. All right. There we go. Now I can control the mic. Cannot type anything to anyone. Right. But I can use the mouse a little bit. And Brody is probably going to be upset here in a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to figure this out. Because these are the Brody days, because I'm a dad, and this is real life. You don't get to trade crypto hands-free all the time,
Does Brody have red hair?
Yeah, I see that comment. He does not have red hair. He is a blonde, but I do think he has a pink scalp that gives him a little red tint. But a lot of people have asked, especially in the sunlight, like out in the sun, people think he's a strawberry blonde. I don't know how it's possible. Neither Taylor or I have any red hair in our family.
That's not how red hair works.
It's just genetic.
Are you saying that he's not a redhead? Because he clearly is a redhead. Or the camera's
I think it's the tint of the. I mean, what I'm looking at is pretty stinking blonde. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a Dwight hairstyle going on too, with that split right down the middle.
That's funny.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. So
he's not a big fan of the poking on the forehead.
No, he's not. He's not.
And neither am I. Well, do we want to go ahead and get into our factoid of the day?
Yeah, let's do the factoid of the day. Then we're going to do. It's weird. We usually do factoids for our technical analysis. We got to do the factoid before we get into our news, and then we'll do some Q&A, and we'll do some more T&A here later on in the show. I kind of got the gist of what I wanted, but we're going to go deeper. We talked about Cardano this morning. Well, we can go deeper on Ethereum as well, and we can go deeper on other coins that people want. So go ahead and put those in chat as well.
I like it. Ooh. All right, so the factoid of the day, and we might have a new factoid elf after a while. Brody looks like he could pump out some great trivia questions. All right, let's check it out here, guys.
If trivia is made of poop, then he could make a lot of it and very well.
I have no comment on that, Tim, but I'm sure that you do. What was the origin, we're staying on theme here, of the world's heaviest human baby? Was it A, Tim, at 42 pounds? Was it
elf?
Was it Turkey, 16 pounds? Great Britain at 17 pounds? Or was it Canada at 22 pounds? Tim, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm tempted to say A. Just kidding. Factoid. I'm going to throw a factoid right back at the elf.
Okay.
I actually really wasn't that big. I think it was 7 pounds something. Brody was 8 pounds 11 ounces at birth.
How do you know how heavy you were, Tim? You weren't there.
My mother tells me. She could be lying. She could be lying easily. Turkey, 16 pounds. Great Britain, 17 pounds. Canada, 22 pounds. 22 pounds. Now, that is a whopping baby.
It's a large baby.
And we know based off of these answers that, to be fair, 16 pounds is a whopping baby. That is pretty freaking huge.
It's a whopper of a child.
What does Gia think, honestly? No, I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to look at what Gia says. 22 pounds seems a little much. I think the elf is trying to throw me off with some trivia here that's kind of ridiculous. But I am going to say that I think that Great Britain, a 17-pound baby in Great Britain, could have happened. By the way, I know probability-wise, I don't know what I'm going to say there. I'm going to go with C, Great Britain. Great Britain, 17 pounds.
All right, he's locking it in. C, Great Britain.
Right as I say that, Gia says B, so I messed it up.
You wanted to change it to B?
Nope, I'm not. I told you I'm not cheating today, and I said C beforehand. So
I saw a really good comment. Crimson Caravan put a lot of work into this one, so I'm going to read it. Wait, Tim, who's the giant, ruggishly handsome man holding you?
Yeah, that's true. We do. What's crazy? I have a beard and everything, obviously, but he does. If you guys, maybe I can get a hold of some baby photos. He does. He is a Warren. He's a Warren for sure. I'm not gonna say he's identical to me, but if you were to look at me and then my other siblings, and then look at Taylor and her family, like he's a Warren baby for sure. What the blood's just thick. The Warren blood runs deep. The Viking blood of I don't know what I was gonna say there either. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. The Viking blood is thick.
It is. Did you know that? Well, actually, I'm going to save that for a factoid in the future.
Yeah.
Something about Viking blood. Stay tuned. Crypto Dave said something that took me by surprise at first, but it does make sense. A 16-pound turkey would make for a nice meal. Just saying.
How many people are eating that meal? I mean, 16 pounds is not a massive turkey, but it's still a pretty good-sized turkey. We usually went for about a 20-pound turkey at Thanksgiving to feed the 7 of us.
Yeah. Oh, look at Brody.
Oh, he loves the 20-pound turkeys.
You must have a chart of Caspa pulled up, the way he's smiling.
Sadly, we're still looking at Ethereum over Bitcoin, so maybe he's a Ben Cowan fan.
Yeah. Who knows? He's betrayed his father, and he's gone with Ben Cowan's technical analysis.
It's true.
All right. You want to get into some TA here? In some TA? Well, not by TA, I mean news.
By news. Let's do it.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Again, this news segment is brought to you by Decrypted.tax. It really is a good service, and you're helping us out here. If you can sign up for decrypted.tax, you're going to do your taxes, right? If you do it yourself, doing it yourself is the only reason not to go with decrypted.tax. That's my
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents, right?
Yep.
If you already know how to do it, right? Maybe you've been a CPA. That's a good excuse. Everyone else, you're wrong. Fix it.
Oof.
All right, here we go, guys. Bitcoin ETF will get nod into. Look at that.
That's strange.
Novogratz just jumping in there. Will get nod in 2023 because SEC's Gensler needs a win, says Galaxy's Novogratz. So we're going to hear from that from Mike Novogratz is his full name. Now, what I will say is I was down in Sarasota earlier this year, and I don't usually watch CNBC, but I had it on in the hotel. Mike Novogratz was on CNBC. Now, it was the weekend, right? It wasn't during the week, but he was on there like 5 times. They just had this rolling segment of Novogratz coming on there and basically saying a bunch of positive things about Bitcoin, right? Trying to orange pill the CNBC audience. Now, what it also kind of showed me is that he's in with the Wall Street insiders. Maybe not the highest echelon of like the BlackRock C-suite or something like that, but he's in. He's in with the in crowd there in Wall Street. At least they like him, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't be on CNBC. So here's his take. That's an interesting kind of relevant context to see kind of what his take is, because I would say that his angle on Gary Gensler is slightly different from what we hear on crypto YouTube here and in crypto media. So let's take it out. Gensler needs a win. Novogratz said on CNBC's Squawk Box, referring to the SEC chair, it's going to get approved, he said, of a Bitcoin spot ETF. It happens this year in 2023. That's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
A lot of people have already said this, but Novogratz's opinion definitely carries weight, as he is the CEO of Galaxy Digital. It's a company kind of like ARK Invest, of similar echelon, right? That's partnering with I think it's Invesco to release their own Bitcoin spot ETF. There's a tremendous amount of pressure to do something that is rational, Novogratz said. The American public want this. Galaxy Digital has partnered with Invesco to file an application for a Bitcoin ETF. There you go. So this is kind of the change in tone, a change in angle, which is he's almost like kind of sees Gary as like a friend of the people. I'm not exactly sure where that is coming from, but I suppose. But the thing is like I kind of disagree with Novogratz's take more than I agree with it, because Gary Gensler is a nominated. The SEC secretary. I can't remember what the title is.
I don't know.
He is a chairman. Sorry, the SEC chairman is nominated, not an elected official, right? So the American people want this. What does that mean? Does that mean that they're gonna vote in congressmen and senators based on getting Gary Gensler removed? I don't think so. I don't think that that's enough of an issue. But I guess maybe an approval rating is what he cares about. I'm not sure. But at any rate, he has a much better perspective than I do on all of this, obviously. So, Tim, what do you think? Do you think that Novogratz's take here is more on? Do you value his opinion here?
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. The whole time you were opening that story, I was fighting this little man for the microphone. He definitely wanted it. Is he talking about the Gary Gensler and the ETF stuff here?
Yeah,
because I caught the last 30 seconds of this.
Yeah, he is.
So he's on to something that people want it. The problem is it doesn't matter what people want. Gary, the things that's going to make Gary lose his job would either be what's going to make Gary lose his job, Brody, is either the president of the United States directly coming in and doing something about it, which is not going to happen,
not Biden, at least.
The most reasonable expectation is actually what we have seen come out in the last congressional hearing, and we're hopefully going to see him talk more about this next one, and that is a potential subpoena for them to actually release everything to Congress. Because while Congress might not be able to directly just get rid of him without a just cause, that subpoena might give them that cause. And we might just see Gary Gensler resign so that he doesn't have to give over everything and go through all the shame and humiliation and then get fired disgracefully. So that's kind of, to me, the most reasonable expectation of Gary leaving office is actually Gary stepping down and resigning. Yes, it is. That's true. And you agree.
Yeah. Well, I jump ahead. I have some TradFi news here, but this is kind of appropriate here. So on that note, Jim Jordan has officially lost, only a couple hours ago, officially has lost his second House Speaker vote as GOP weighs dwindling options. So the GOP is the majority in Congress, right? But they need a leader, right? You can't just not have a leader. I don't know exactly what their deadline is here, but they need somebody. And now Jim Jordan, who is the second most popular after Steve Scalise, who also could not get a caucus going to vote him in, right? Now those two gentlemen, those two congressmen are no longer, they failed, right? The speaker, they failed to get the votes. So what happens now? To be honest with you, probably not a lot of people know, right? I certainly don't. But it has opened the door to this gentleman right here. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries indicated that Democrats could be open to helping McHenry win a majority if the closely divided chamber, if that would end the current impasse. So Democrats,
I would love it. I told you McHenry's my front runner. He's the one I want.
So it's interesting that Novogratz would be taking this position right now during this time, and it's like maybe this is why he's coming out. Maybe he's putting pressure on forces behind the scenes with this comment because he knows that McHenry is really the weapon that could be coming into play here, a weapon that could be activated to fire Gary Gensler, right? Or to come up with some way to
perform the tools that would aid his removal. Yes.
Right. So this is, it's kind of hard for me to tell how heady and complicated this is because it's very clear to me, but I do know that it involves, like, why is American politics relevant to Bitcoin? This is because there's a commission, there's a chairman of the SEC, which is the regulator, the unjust regulator of crypto, right? They've kind of stepped in and said, hey, we're going to regulate this new industry even though nobody told us to, including Congress, right? Well, this Congressman McHenry, Patrick McHenry, has been vocal that Gary Gensler should not be doing what he's doing, should not be going after the crypto industry, especially names like Kraken and Coinbase and Binance and Ripple in the way that he has, right? Basically weaponizing the Securities and Exchange Commission. Well, if this gentleman here gets Speaker of the House, it's not president, right? There's many positions more powerful in government than Speaker of the House. But it is a pretty darn powerful position. And if he can whip up a caucus, right, that they could go ahead and fire Gary Gensler because Gary is only serving at the pleasure of the Congress. Now, I don't know if it would have to go through the Senate and then Biden would have to sign it. That would more than likely have to happen. But that
I think the way I was reading it was the president can do it directly he still has to have just cause that's given to him pretty much by Congress. So if there's found something that is illegal activity or harmful, to pretty much, okay, so if they found that he was harming civilians, they take that to the president and say, this is what's happening. The president fires him. The chance is that Biden might not want to fire him. But if there's actually criminal stuff going on, so if it is found out that there was fraud going on, if there were bribes and everything going on, that he was taking this stuff, then doesn't matter what the president thinks. He's facing charges, and you can't hold the seat if you're facing criminal charges. So with this subpoena, which a lot of people think would unveil a lot of craziness going on, if he just steps down, Gary Gensler, and resigns, then that subpoena will be pulled back. I think he would avoid the charges. Again, that's why I'm saying the most realistic expectation of his exit is not a firing. It's probably him resigning his post.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that. I don't know which one is more likely, but Tim, I mean, you make a good point. Only time will tell. And I mean, I'm sure there's some people who have a pretty good inclination of which way this could crumble. This could fall. But here's the thing is, like, the context of this has almost nothing to do with crypto, right? This has everything to do with the government that is extremely divided. And, the Republicans are fighting for leadership in the run-up to, the election season here. Donald Trump, is he going to be the leader or is it going to be somebody else? Well, all these Congress people are, part of one group or another. And so there's a lot of infighting to try to figure out who the heck is going to lead the United States GOP in the Congress, right? So that's the broader context, and it has nothing to do with crypto. Probably it has maybe a lot to do with something like oil, maybe something like, the wars that are now going on. It probably has a lot more to do with that in the looming campaign in general than crypto. But there could be just the way that this house of cards falls, the way that this happens. It could be very, very beneficial to crypto. So,
Yeah.
and I'm going to seal that off with, and we will not return back to American politics. I'm going to seal that off with a nice gavel slam there from Patrick McHenry, the man, the myth, the politician. We'll leave it at that. He's still a politician at the end of the day. But one more, and we're not going to leave Washington. I lied. We're going to stay in TradFi, then we'll get back over to crypto. Biden to seek unprecedented Israeli aid package, pledges $100 million for humanitarian relief in Gaza and West Bank. Is that unprecedented? That does not seem unprecedented. I guess maybe for an aid package. Okay. But according to Watcher.guru, Israel has asked the United States for $10 billion. So just going to state the facts there, guys. I know it's kind of contentious.
Again, so I know Biden went to Congress asking for a $100 billion aid approval.
I think it was $10 billion.
No. Israel asked. So Israel has asked for $10 billion for themselves. Biden went to Congress asking for an $100 billion budget to split between Israel and Ukraine. Okay. Because of course, there all this stuff with everything happening in Israel. You know, the biggest loser of all of this, which has been the people who are dying, but in the political landscape is actually Zelensky. Zelensky is freaking terrified because the only reason why Ukraine is still holding up is because of the aid coming from the United States. And now that there's potentially saying a bigger concern isn't right, just a new concern, another concern in a area of the world that is very volatile and there's a lot of chaos happening there. Zelensky is very concerned that he might not get the same aid from the United States because they're going to start aiding Israel. So that's why I think Biden went with such a ridiculously high request. Yeah, right there. Okay, Watcher Guru. $100 billion in funding for Ukraine and Israel.
Yep, you're right.
It's pretty nuts, dude. Pretty nuts. Now, long term, bullish for Bitcoin because there's no way this is going to happen without printing money. We're already $33 trillion in debt and getting, I think it's we're increasing by $270 billion a day. So every day it's like more than double or more than half of the Bitcoin market cap is getting added to our debt every single day.
Yeah.
And Brody can't stand it.
He can't.
He's so mad he has to bite a finger just to hold back the anger.
Crimson Caravan saying it's not split. It's $100 billion straight to Ukraine. Crimson Caravan, you may,
I don't know.
You may be right,
but
this tweet does seem to indicate that it's going to go to a mix of Ukraine and Israel. But I mean, guys, look, we just kind of want to bring the facts here. There's not a whole lot that, it's not like we're Washington insiders who have some kind of, super valuable opinion on how this should go. Generally, against war, but that's not really for us. We're crypto guys, right? We like to invest. We like to make money. All right, we've got got one more.
Well, yeah, we still have we have this one. Yeah, we have a lot of Washington Day. And then we're getting to the big one again. A lot of people, this is our highest concurrent we've had since we joined at 3 p.m. How much of that is Brody? Clearly, it's the best looking cast we've ever had on the show. How much of this is people wanting to hear about George? We talked a little bit about George before, but we have not gotten to the meat. So if you guys came in and wondering, are they going to talk about George? We are. We're about to talk about him here in just a second and then open up for some Q&A for TA, for more news, for more discussion, for questions about Brody, for Brody to steal my mic. No, you can't. No, you cannot have that. Water bottle. There you go.
That's actually a pretty good looking water bottle. I would probably grab onto that. Let us know in chat. What would you latch on to if you were a baby? A Gatorade bottle or a microphone?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's talk about
kind of creative.
Let's talk about my aunt
and
her new agenda. Yeah.
Let's see. There was a picture of her. I don't know how far I'd have to scroll to find that. So let's not. But yeah, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren sends letter to White House claiming crypto is a national security threat being used to fund the big T word. You can read it there. These are bad people that do bad things. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, no is kind of a good response here. It's there is truth to it in a sense, but you have to wonder. I mean, what's the ratio of actual dollars and euros, right? And who knows what other foreign currencies that are used to fund things that we don't want in general, right? It's just a new technology. Elizabeth
Yeah.
Warren. You can just settle down, take a
Well,
seat.
and she's not using it correctly whatsoever, because the studies are still showing terrorism as a whole is still trying to use U.S. dollars. So you want to stop terrorism, kill the U.S. dollars. Yes, some of them use crypto, but the ones that use crypto are usually the ones that get caught, because blockchain technology is easily traceable. Decentralization does not stop it from being traceable. It just makes it so that they can't, confiscate it in a very easy way. But they're doing that too. So it's one of those things. It's like the arguments made by Auntie Beth at this point are just kind of dumb.
Mhm.
And Brody agrees. He's
Yeah.
tired of her too, and he hasn't even met her yet.
Yeah.
At the family reunion. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's that. And there'll be more to come on that, I'm sure. Although a lot of these Elizabeth Warren headlines, they kind of pop up and then nobody really cares, except, I would imagine in kind of the circles that she's a lot more popular in, because there are a lot of people that like her, right, that agree with her politics and her perspectives. I'd say a lot of those people are working for Wall Street or like lobbyist groups, right? So it's not a lot of people, not a lot of like Americans, voters, but there are people who agree with her. So maybe that message continues to echo into that bubble, but it's like she pops up and then you don't see her for another 2.5 months or something like that. So hopefully we won't see her anytime soon. Justin, U.S. 30-year fixed mortgage rate rises to 8% for the first time in 23 years. Which, quick math, Tim, what would that put the year at? Quick math.
that put it at 2,000.
There you go. That was the right answer. I probably couldn't have done that quick math. I'm terrible at quick math. Absolutely horrid at it. Well, how about we have an actual crypto headline? What do you think, Tim?
Let's do it. Let's talk crypto, and then before we jump in, because we're going to continue. Well, no. So let's go to George. We've been kind of delaying here. We're going to go to George in a second, but first, T-Shroom, let's get the answer to the trivia question of the day. Brody cannot wait.
Okay.
Get that answer.
All right. Yes. Let's do this. The factoid of the day. It was the answer that we were all looking for.
Oh my gosh.
Canada, 22 pounds.
Holy crap.
That's right. Yeah.
22 pounds?
Get a load.
For a baby?
Here is I believe this is the image here of the baby. And
well, that's not a newborn baby.
I think that's the only picture of it, right? But it was recorded. Giantess Anna Bates of Canada, August 1846, measured 7 feet 11 inches.
What are you? No. Okay.
Oh, that's
stop.
That's the
what
woman.
What are we talking
that's
about?
The mother that gave birth.
Yeah. Okay. There's no baby that's 7 foot 11 inches. Goodness.
She would be able to dunk on Tim, but she gave birth to a boy weighing 22 pounds and measuring 28 inches at her home in Sevilla, Ohio, USA, on 29th of. Okay, well that's not Canada. I guess that's where she gave birth, but she was Canadian.
Yeah. Okay.
Goodness well, that's gracious. A little misleading. Guinness World Records. But the baby was not officially named, but just referred to as Bebe. Sadly, died 11 hours later. Oh, jeez. That's a sour note on the factoid of the day.
That was not a photo of that baby then, if the baby...
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct, Tim. But that is accurate. This is on the official GuinnessWorldRecords.com website. So there you go, Tim.
That's crazy. That is crazy. 22-pound Canadian baby.
22 pounds.
That's ridiculous.
In Ohio.
Well, let's do this. Let's talk George, guys. A lot of people came in here talking about George. Out of curiosity, you can share my screen now. Let's make sure it has not come back up. It has not come back up. At least he has not posted his come back up. I don't know if you guys have heard this yet or not. George today had his channel taken down. George, that's CryptosRUs. He's one of the top crypto influencers in the game. Good friend of mine. Even though he's appeared on back when I was hosting Coffee and Crypto. He came on once, but I've gotten to meet him a couple of times. One of the nicest guys you will meet. Definitely one of the biggest advocates of crypto in our space. Wants to help a lot of people. But he said here in his tweet, it's happening again. YouTube banning accounts. Not sure if it happened to any other crypto channel yet, but maybe coming soon. No explanation besides harmful and dangerous policy and no warnings. Please help fix this and stop this from happening to anyone else. They claim harmful and dangerous policy. Now, before we get going any further, it is probably not like I think some people read this and are assuming, wow, are they calling crypto education? Like, are they going to say he's doing financial advice? They're going to say crypto is harmful. Like Elizabeth Warren would like to claim that all of our channels are harmful and dangerous. But more than likely, guys, the fact that his channel got taken down probably has nothing to do with crypto whatsoever. Now, I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. I do have thoughts on that as to a little bit more. Candle Daddy says, we are all Tim. I'm very, very grateful for that. We are all George and we are all Tim. You know who called this out greatly, though, perfectly, though, and I think he's dead on, and then people commented below that's pretty much the same. Our good friend, Army Piper, coming in chat, giving us the answer. Go ahead and go back to my screen here, T-Shroom. Probably because you made those comments about the waitress and owner of the restaurant, you said some names that I could see overly sensitive people making a report over. And then down below, DJ NorCal, I don't know who that is. And I don't know if any of you guys do either. But hey, shout out to him. If you want to follow him, I don't know if I'm going to follow him. Crypto Queen made a whole video about it. She probably reported him. I saw someone else say down in comments, she definitely reported him. For those of you who don't know what Piper is referring to right now, there's a video that he put out. Was it over the weekend? It might have been Sunday. Yes, it was Sunday. All right, you want the water bottle. There was a video that he put out where he just talked about an experience he had at a restaurant. This wasn't the whole video. It was just the end of the video. He had an experience at a restaurant where he normally has great service. This time it wasn't great service. He talks about a lady who wasn't very kind to him. And he doesn't really, again, I don't think he said anything harmful, but I do think he said her name or something. And yeah, so it looks like he just had his channel reported and YouTube took it down. Here's where crypto comes into it. No. Yeah, you
don't worry, he'll be back. George will be back.
Yeah. George, listen, buddy. The truth is that any other channel of any other genre, they would have easily brought that back up by now. Goodness gracious. You might have to take over here in a second. But they would have easily put his channel back up. I do think that YouTube and Google and the powers that be still look for any chance they can to censor crypto channels. So when they get a good, juicy excuse like this one, you're going to have to jump on it. That's how their philosophy is. Someone else mentioned in our chat, he had his channel taken down in 2018 as well. This is not the first time. It's not the first time that channels in crypto get taken down. And while the majority of them have come back, it is something that continues to scare every single content creator. Because again, you know, a lot of people, this is their livelihood. For me and T-shirt, yeah, baby competition. Mine's a lot fairer than yours.
This is my little baby right here.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not into it.
But the whole thing is a lot of people in the space, their livelihood is these channels. T-Shum and I both, you know, we have other jobs that help pay our bills. But both of them do rely upon, both of our jobs do help content creators in the crypto space. So technically speaking, even our livelihood still is based off of crypto content. And, you know, at some point I would love for our full-time living to come off of this channel and for both T-Shum and I to dedicate our entire weeks and our entire efforts into producing content for you guys. And I'm about to not hear T-Shum anymore. And I think Brody's coming to the end of his leash here. Where he's just done with content for the day. The point is, guys, make sure you go comment on George's Twitter post. Comment at YouTube on Twitter. Tell them to restore it. They will restore it if there's enough outcry, but they're going to try to hold off as long as possible because they want every excuse they can. They want every excuse they can to get rid of crypto YouTube creators. Guys, I do know that Taylor, she came in here a second ago. I don't know if you guys saw me talking off screen. She is done with what she has. So she said when I'm ready to give her Brody that she's ready. So say goodbye to Brody. He will probably make an appearance again tomorrow because, again, I'm on dad duty the rest of the week.
All right. You going to come back or are you not going to come back?
I'm coming right back.
All right.
BRB.
In the meantime, let's hear from... No, I'm just kidding. All right. So there is one more headline here. Announcing the first mainnet release of TapTool asset. I probably should have waited for Tim to go over this. Let's do a little TA because I want to get his take on this. This is actually kind of a big development. Basically, long story short, stablecoins might be coming to Bitcoin via lightning. But we'll get back to that in just a second. Let's check out Bitcoin. I'm down here on the 4-hour, and I am kind of thinking that we might see a good entry point for this asset here, Biddy. If you're in the United States, you can trade this on the New York Stock Exchange. It's Biddy. You can see that it's got a pretty big gap right here. It's a reverse ETF of Bitcoin. And right now, as it stands, about 4% to the upside is a potential move there up to that downtrending line of resistance. There's a lot more to kind of unpack about this, of course. But, if you're not trying to go into some kind of crazy leveraged trade, this is a good way to short Bitcoin to be able to make a little bit of money as it moves to the downside, which is kind of what we're anticipating here. I mean, it's been testing these highs. It's been testing this high here of trying to get through 30,000. It obviously was able to go up there and tickle it, right? And on some exchanges it pushed through, right? But for the most part, it was not able to. So what does that mean? What goes up and doesn't keep going up must come down, right? So that's at least, you're going to see, Bitcoin probably do at least about a 3, maybe 4% move to the downside as it tries to put in a new low or a higher low here. But it could just as easily, come right on down and be that big dip. This could be the beginning of that pretty big dip that we've been anticipating down to 23 and down to 20,000 for Bitcoin. It's certainly in the cards. Tim, do we want to go ahead and just jump into the charts because we haven't done much on the charts?
Yeah, we did a little bit on Bitcoin. We did a little bit on Ethereum. What we're going to do is we're going to open it up for Q&A. So you guys ultimately, for the rest of the time, we still have about 13 minutes, and I have no baby, so my hands are free. I can use the mouse. Again, was it George? Was it Brody? Do you guys like the chaos with the baby and the pup? Maybe Beamer will make an appearance if Brody's sleeping. But we still going to talk crypto. Thank you so much for your guys' support. Smash the like button, by the way. Where are we with likes?
Give that
all
like
these
button
views and only 56 likes. We can get to 100 likes like right now. So go ahead and smash the like button really quick. If Brody was cute and you guys like Brody, smash the like button.
Smash it.
Go ahead and start asking. What do you guys want to see some TA on today? Do you guys have clarifying questions? We can talk about anything you guys want to talk about for the rest of the show. But T-Shroom.
Yo, there is one more story that's actually pretty big. We might want to talk about it, but
okay, well, we can talk about that here in a little bit. I was going to ask, because I was not on Saturday's show. While we do see a question from Susie. Susie, I'm going to answer you in just a second. Did you, last Saturday when I wasn't on the Saturday show, did you go through your portfolio?
I did not.
Okay, so is that something you want to do this Saturday?
It is.
How do you kind of put that together? All right, so this Saturday, guys, make sure you come back 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go through T-Shroom's future. Again, remember, guys, we're going through future portfolios, what we want this to look like. And they're not set in stone. They're just what we have our eyes on. Like right now, we don't have the cash in hand. We're window shopping for our crypto. We're waiting for the prices to go down for the holiday season. And then we're going to buy it for Christmas.
And fair warning, I use Robinhood. So if you're the faint of heart around Robinhood, you're gonna want to have your pacemaker.
Are you going to only buy crypto that's on Robinhood?
No. Okay,
I'm just saying
I have a lot of crypto on Robinhood. Yeah.
I didn't specify what exchanges I was using. So
that's true. I could just not do that.
Caveat. Susie Bonham says Bitcoin closed below 2,800 or 28,300 today. Let's take a look. We're close. I mean, we're 28,327. Will we close there? We have a couple of hours left. Now, the time zone always changes, and not time zone. The time changes always changing. Do we close at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. T-Shroom here at Eastern Standard Time?
Say it again. The market?
Do we close the daily chart? Where the daily chart closes, where do we open this morning? We opened this morning right at 28,409, give or take. I guess I can look at this. 28,408. So let's go to the hourly chart and kind of look right there at that time, because I don't think the daily chart goes to the exact time that the way mine does. Is that 28,400? No, see, that's not. Yeah, okay, so 28,408. It's going to be down here somewhere, one of these candles. It's going to be this one. All right, so that's 8 o'clock. So 8 p.m. tonight. All right, sorry I had to go through there. 8 p.m. Oh, and Philly Skills put it there, and so did Shirley Sound. So I was doing all this research for nothing. They had my back. We still have, because right now it is 3:50, so let's go ahead and call it 4 o'clock. We still have 4 hours. 4 hours until we get the daily close. Let's take a look at the charts and see what we are seeing. Now, on the hourly chart, we've had some buy signals here on this little dip. We are kind of rounding back up. We're going to probably need to go down to the 15-minute chart to kind of get a good understanding here of if we continue to move up or down for the day. Whew, it's middle. Money flow going to the downside. We're not necessarily getting buy right here. Oh, this is a hard one. We're in a phase of setting lower highs and lower lows, so I think the chances, Susie, are good of going below 28,300 to close the day. But I cannot say that that's something we could predict with a whole heck of a lot of certainty. I can tell you it's going to be very close. And even if we were to use fixed range volume profile, which might give us some indication, 28,247 is a value area low. Might be hard unless there's something that pushes us to get there tonight. I would expect tomorrow for us to be below this level for sure. Don't know, though, Susie, if we're going to be able to close that day. I don't know if you have a trade that's contingent upon that. Might be why you're asking. And I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you. But the charts are kind of in the time frames that we need to see to be able to make that prediction. They're in mixed bag situations. There could go up, could go down. This is a watch and wait and see kind of trade opportunity, not a FOMO in or FUD out. And so for that reason, I think there's a good chance, again, 28,300 is lost for the daily close, but not a certainty whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see other questions we had here.
Yeah, the stock market's taking quite a tumble today. Might be something to chat about.
Yeah, let's look at the stock market.
Yeah, so with my charts here, I mean, you're asking why is it down? I mean, from a technicals perspective, it's down because it tested a high, put in a lower high, and was not able to break through that downtrending line of resistance, and so it's going down. It's going to test lower, before it can go higher. So that's the long and short of it. From a technical standpoint, you're also in earnings season, right? And I think it was Morgan Stanley had I don't know what the earnings were, but there's a giant sell-off this morning for Morgan Stanley, and as you can see, the banks are getting pretty hard. Schwab down almost 3.5%. Let's see, Morgan Stanley. I don't really know exactly what their ticker is, MS. Yeah, so look at that. Goodness gracious. That is an American bank. It's in the discount zone there on the daily for Chart Prime. And it wicked quite a bit down. So yesterday, it closed the day up at $80 per share and wicked all the way down to 8%, more than 8%, 8.6 it wicked down to this morning when the earnings came out. So that's why the market's down, because there's a lot of weakness in some of these earnings reports. Now, Tesla reports after the close today in literally 7 minutes, 6.5 minutes. So it's going to be, people are thinking that one might be actually bullish. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But ultimately, I mean, the answer is because the NASDAQ is range bound. It's been in this downtrending range. Let me go back to it. And, man, it's all the way up here. Sorry, guys.
So are you the 22-pound Canadian?
Am I the 22-pound Canadian? Yeah, you caught that.
Yeah.
Nothing gets past him.
No.
But except the hand reaching out for a mic, that'll get past him. But yeah, I mean that's the answer. Tim, were you seeing anything on the charts you wanted to?
Yeah, so I remember there was I forgot that I wanted to mention this on Bitcoin because there's always a handful of things that I want to talk about, and I don't always hit them all.
Good.
This is the weekly chart on Bitcoin. I was thinking about why is she saying 28,300? Which, by the way, we're getting really close to being below as we're speaking right here. Right, you can't see it behind my head because I'm covering it. But the price right now is 28,313. This is the weekly chart. And this blue line right here is the 200. Oh, let me get the volume out of the way because that was confusing me for just a second. This blue line is the 200 simple moving average. I was wondering what she was talking about. I do believe if you kind of look at it, the line is coming in right there at about 28,280, give or take. And technically right now, this daily candle, really, really fat, is above it. What we're looking for is when this blue line kind of comes to the end of this candle, it'll come over here. Will we get back below it again? Right in that range, right below 28.3 is pretty much where the 200 weekly is. This, to me, unless we see a big spike, I'm going to go ahead and say, even if we close slightly above the 200 weekly candle, I'm going to say if I look at a candle like this, I'm going to say that's a close right at the 200 weekly. But upon seeing this, Susie, I think there's a decent chance it ends up closing below 28,300 just from that perspective of traders saying, all right, it's getting close. Yeah, sell it off, get it below the 200 weekly. We're not breaking the 200 weekly. Another reason why I do think that the price is not moving bullishly yet. Notice here, several wicks over the last couple of weeks, last handful of weeks have had wicks that go above the 200 weekly, but we have not closed a candle above the 200 since the big dip back here. That says August 14th because it's the weekly candle. It was actually the 17th of August. When we had that crash, when the SEC gave the blow that, oh, actually, we're not giving up on crypto being securities. Yeah, that's Susie. I think that maybe that answers your question a little better. That's, I think, what you were asking in the first place. And that's a very, very good catch. What I do want to see, talking about SMAs, we have closed now 2 days above the 200 SMA. That doesn't mean anything necessarily crazy over here. We only closed 1 day back on the 29th of August. We did this back in 2019. I think I referenced it this morning in the news update, but for just in case you didn't watch the video, I'm going to say anyway, there's some similarities that we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, last couple of days. First of all, China FOMO breaks at a death cross that goes to the wrong direction, to the upside, above the 200 SMA, uses a support here. This one actually used it for, that's over a week, and then we lost it again. So some people are going to read breaking the 200 daily SMA and say, oh, we're bullish. Here we go. Well, no. Literally in the same time frame of the 4-year cycle that we have been comparing where we are right now in the movement, we did the exact same thing. So China FOMO, check. Death cross, check. Breaking above the 200 and having a fake out, check. We are doing those same things. And currently, we're still above the 200 SMA. Well, let's get back over to it. Currently, we're still above it, but I do expect, whether it's today or whether it's about a week or so from now, I do think we'll lose that 200. But again, look at the other things. What was this pump? Yes, some of the wick up here has to do with fake news, but the main body of this candle has to do with China buying Bitcoin with some FOMO in there. China manipulation. We just had the death cross back here that started this whole rally. And again, we broke above the 200, making people think we're bullish, but there's absolutely a chance that this is a fake out and we drop back down below. One more reason why I do think we're continuing to move to the downside. And by the way, I'm for our silver members, Teacher and I are talking about this. We're going to start doing this. We'll let you guys know later on the show. But whenever T-Shum and I make major moves in price action, we're going to let our silver members know first. That's just one more perk for all of the people in chat with green names and up. You guys, if you're in our Discord, and of course you have to be a member to get into the paid version of it, T-Shum and I are going to be commenting pretty much as we are making trades and as we are making either buys or sells. We're going to be commenting. Well, this morning, I think both T-Shum and myself, and we didn't even talk to each other before this. I think we just both were looking at stuff and we're like, all right, let's do this. We both took some profit this morning. I think that price moved downside. I've been considering it for a couple weeks now. Obviously, it would have been nicer to take it maybe a little closer to 32. I didn't think when we hit 31.8 that was the end. But by the time we got over here into August, I was pretty convinced, but I held. I don't really know why. I think I thought we were maybe going to make one more good push to the upside. But now that we got the good push, we hit that wick up to 30K. I was just like, you know what? The time's right. Let's go ahead and take some profit. If I play my cards right on Bitcoin alone, if what I'm thinking is going to happen happens, just my Bitcoin holdings, I'll be able, of the ones I took profit of, I'll be able to make at least 22%, almost 23%, profit there just by holding. I'm not even going to short. I don't think I'm going to short Bitcoin. I'm just going to hold my stable coins and wait for a good buy opportunity. Could get all the way more towards 30%. Well, guess what that means for altcoins? Because I sold both Bitcoin and altcoins this morning. My altcoins could be somewhere closer towards 40%. I talked about that a little bit earlier. We'll talk more about that on a non-Brody day. I don't really know what the rest of this week looks like. It's hard to do TA with Brody, but he does make for a heck of a entertaining podcast, entertaining YouTube show. I think cryptos, especially ones like Ethereum and Cardano, could be pushing more than 30%, maybe getting closer towards 40% in their losses, which means Great buying opportunity. Like I said, coming right there at the end of November. So your Thanksgiving, Christmas wish list to buy more crypto could be coming soon. If you don't have dry powder, I'm not giving you financial advice. Do whatever you want to do. What I decided for myself and my family this morning is to create a little more dry powder for some holiday purchases coming in about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're at market close, so Tesla's earnings should be posting here any second. Refreshing some pages here to see if we're going to be able to get it before we sign off. Not sure, but
while you're saying that, we got some questions here. Eric Wallen says, what about gold members? Silly Eric Wallen. Gold members get everything silver members get and more because they get the Thursday exclusive memberships. By the way, we're going to be talking right after this. We were supposed to do it yesterday, but T-Stream and I got caught up. Our silver members only stream is going on right after this. We'll probably give it 15 minutes, so 4:15. We'll be going live. But Lewis B says, how do I get the silver member or gold? Well, for either one of those, T-Shroom, go ahead and share my screen. You guys are watching this video. Now, I do think you have to be on your computer. So Luis B.
That's a good-looking guy.
Probably Lewis B. More than likely, if you're on your phone, I don't know if we have an option. I think we've talked about it before. The phone makes it really hard. But if you're watching these two good-looking guys, and you've seen a baby on here earlier, just scroll right here on your computer and hit that join button, and you can choose silver for $4.99 a month, gold for $19.99 a month. And then if you guys want to support the channel, if you want to give us $49.99 a month, that is amazing. We have future plans for this one. I don't think we have a single diamond member at this point, but we have future plans to put out some educational content, not only some technical analysis, but even some of our more sentiment / how to break down news stories and how to process the information. We're going to put out educational content that package so that anyone can come in, and whether it takes them 1 month or 5 months or 10 months, those videos will always be there in the Diamond membership, so you can come in and learn TA, learn how to process crypto information, and trade and invest wisely. So look forward to that coming in the future. We went ahead and put this up here, but again, if you buy Diamond, that just means you really, really love the bros and you want to support the channel, which we would never say no to. But you do get silver once a week. You get our special streams and silver. Again, that's happening today. Again, you'll also get private chat and T-Shroom and Tim calls and purchase and sell orders. Gold, you guys get a lot more. You get 2 calls a week. You guys get to be in with us on Discord. We actually bring everybody up for gold members. They get to talk with us. It's like a party. It's always awesome. So make sure you guys, if you are looking for, if you want to be a part of that, hit that join button. Join the Investing Bros community today. Guys, that's all we have for you in this video. Thank you for staying with us. It's been chaotic. It's been fun. I don't know why we're still sharing the screen. T-Shroom, we're going to talk more about this in the members only. We got to go ahead and get off here so we can get on with it. But we'll talk to Zero Hedge Great Account. We'll talk more about this tomorrow as well. Guys, with that being said, hit that like button on the way out. Hit subscribe. Hit the join button. Come check us out over in the members only stream. And with that said, we'll see you tomorrow morning. You guys have a great day.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news, got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.